It was the end of March 2020. We had just gotten word that there was a shutdown coming. And I got a phone call from a friend of mine. I've known him for 15 years. And he said, "What do you know about stem cells?" And I had 2 stem cell injections in my knee. I was, let's just say, crazy downhill skier. Not like a downhill racer, but I had been skiing since I was 8 years old. And I broke my leg in 1973 and tore the cartilage. So that was set in motion way back in the year after I graduated from high school. And so I had stem cell injections in them, and I told him what my experience was, and he asked the question, what if you could activate your own stem cells with a little thing like, it looks like a Band-Aid? And first I was really perplexed. What the heck are you talking about? How is that even possible? And then I thought that maybe they had stem cells in them. That was incorrect.
That's what I thought too.
Maybe they were transdermal patch. That was incorrect. And so I dug deep into the science of these things. And now I do a lot of the science calls for, not directly from the company but for very large groups of LifeWave. They call it the Doctor and Science call. And because I like that stuff, and I like understanding how it works, and I like being able to tell these other doctors, medical doctors, chiropractors, whatever type they are, they also have a little bit of an analytical mind, and they want to know answers to things. And I wanted to have those answers. And so I've done webinars on pretty much each one of the patches. But first I had to understand how they work. So we went to work. I had nothing to do for 2.5 months, March, April, May, June, whenever it was. And I found that every single person I talked to, first of all, no one had ever heard of them. And that everybody I talked to wanted to try some. It seemed like there was an extreme amount of interest when I said stem cell activation patches, because that creates such curiosity. What the heck is that? And then my own personal, I didn't notice much at all when I first put this patch on.
Me too. We're in the 20% that when you first put them on, you don't feel anything at all.
Yeah. So for 2.5 months, at about 2.5 months, I started noticing some shifts in my gut health. And I already had a knee replacement surgery scheduled for that August. My history was I had PVCs my whole life. I noticed them first in high school. I may not have had them before high school, but I noticed them in high school. I didn't know what they were. I never got checked when I was in high school, but I had this irregular heartbeat. And I remember the doctor, when we'd go in for a checkup, my brother and I were 14 months apart, and we'd always go in together. He'd say, "Yeah, you got a heart murmur." That's all they called it back there. It was a heart murmur. I didn't know what it was, but I knew that it made me feel kind of weird when they were close together, because the heart just kind of stops for a second. I'd actually gone several times in to find out what they were. I knew that I had PVCs. I didn't know in high school, but later on, I had gone to several different doctors trying to find out what they were, and they were diagnosed as PVCs. So I had it for a long time. I had a long history of it. So I had this idea, put a patch right over my heart where it felt weird all the time. And then also in the normal spot, right at the base of the neck. And something really, really strange happened. And at first it seemed like it was like really strange, like there's something wrong with my heart. But don't get alarmed. There's a nice ending to the story. But all of a sudden, about 4 weeks before my surgery, the PVCs got really regular every fifth beat, night and day. I would say to my wife, I'd be monitoring, I go, "Man, it's every fifth beat. It's the weirdest thing. I don't know what's going on. Maybe I better make an appointment with the cardiologist because I got this knee replacement surgery coming up." So I made the appointment, and I did not know that I also had a right bundle branch block. And that has to do with the conductivity to the right ventricle. Those of you who don't know what that is, that the blood comes back to the heart, it goes to the right ventricle, and the right ventricle pumps it out to the lungs. And you get oxygen, it comes back, and then it's pumped out to your body. So,
did you ever get lightheaded?
You know, every once in a while I did. When I would bend over, I didn't know what it was. I was also getting swelling in my legs. I could see the imprint where my socks were at the end of the day, and I go, God, that's embarrassing. So I did. If I bend over for, picking something up or doing something as I hunched over, when I would stand up, I would get a little bit lightheaded. And so I did this stress echo, and it comes back. I got right bundle branch block and PVCs, but not enough. It was not that. It's not anything that's bad enough to prevent them from doing the surgery. So I had the surgery done. Fast forward. By the way, the PVC stopped in about 2 weeks. 2 weeks after that.
Wow.
So the PVCs were gone, just like random. Maybe once. I don't even notice. I didn't even notice them back then. Fast forward a year and a half, almost 2 years. I was having a follow-up surgery on that root canal I told you about. They needed to do the surgery, and I had this history of the heart stuff. They made me do another stress echo. So this stress echo that was done in March of this year comes back. Right bundle branch block no longer present. 2 different cardiologists have told me I've never seen a right bundle branch block go away. So the meaning of that, you really can't understand the depth of the gratitude and emotion that I felt when I found that went away, is because all-cause mortality goes up if you have a right bundle branch block. If you have a right bundle branch block and you have a myocardial infarction, you're pretty much done. And so it changed the course of the rest of my life, truly, that those things went away. So when I tell people, don't judge if these patches are working on you. After all, they healed me of things I didn't even know I had. So if you don't have a test done to know that you have something, you may be wearing these patches and have something and then not have it. It went away and you didn't even know you ever had it. So it's a little bit short-sighted to judge and to say, hey, I'm going to use these patches for 1 month. I'm going to give it a month. And if they work for me, then I'm going to tell people about it. That's a little bit short-sighted and naive, in my opinion, because sometimes people don't notice anything for several months.